Welcome back to Dogs of the Wind. In this episode, we take you to the highest pub in Africa, traverse the Eastern Cape Highlands, explore the sleepy town of Rhodes, and share our favorite camping hack. Our first stop was Khotso Horse Trails, not too far out of Underberg, which afforded us the opportunity to scale one of the highest gravel passes in South Africa, Sani Pass. But before that, we had been on the road for a while, and as we don't have a fridge, we need ice to keep our cooler box cool, for the drinks to be cold and our food to stay fresh. To avoid ending up with a cooler box full of wet food floating in melted ice, we use food-safe plastic containers to hold our ice. This keeps our food cool and dry, and when the ice melts, we can use it as drinking water. The next day, we made the drive to Sani Pass. One follows a scenic tar road through the little berg all the way to the South African border post, where one must have a valid passport and any documents one needs to leave the country with your vehicle. The gravel road starts after the border post and continues all the way up to the Lesotho border post. So the Sani Pass itself is actually in no man's land between Lesotho and South Africa. Sani Pass had recently been repaired, so the road was in great condition. But the grade of the pass is pretty steep. Four-wheel drive and a low-range gearbox make the pass pretty much a breeze, allowing you to soak in the atmosphere and enjoy the ride. To pass through the Lesotho border post, you need your passport and 75 Rand per vehicle in import duties. Once through, take the first right turn and you are on the way to the highest pub in Africa. The parking costs 50 Rand, but that works as a voucher for the pub. Be prepared to pay a premium for food.
We are at the top of Sani Pass. We're at the highest pub in Africa.
We enjoyed sipping a beer and having a pie while watching the lunch rush head up the pass. A ubiquitous sight while on the pass is the minibus taxi. On the steeper sections, they will use the age-old off-road technique of momentum, so don't forget to give right of way to the uphill drivers, as they cannot afford to stop. After 2 days' stay at Khotso, we started making our way to Rhodes, traveling through some incredibly scenic roads along the southern end of Lesotho.
Hello, we are caught in Mount Fletcher. Rush hour traffic, it seems.
After turning off from Mount Fletcher, we headed up the Nordea's Neck Pass, which would lead us to the mountain town of Rhodes. Nordea's Neck has an altitude of 2,596 meters. It is the route taken by the Nordea brothers in the 1890s, and there's a plaque commemorating how they cut the track out with picks and shovels. Nordea's Neck is the fourth highest pass in altitude in South Africa. The pass from the east was slow going, as the road was heavily eroded. It had rained on and off, so there were muddy sections and smooth rocks, which required a bit of careful driving and low range. Once over the pass, however, the road dried up and smoothed out as the western edges of the mountains see less rainfall, and we saw our first glimpse of Rhodes. Rhodes is a small town with no tar road in sight, but the town is known for a few things: fly fishing, trail running, and the Eastern Cape mountain passes. We camped at the riverside campsite at Alpine Swift, where I tried my hand at herding sheep. This campsite is a must for the more self-sufficient camper, as ablutions and facilities are further away, and there are no power points. But an ancient weeping willow will keep you company.
But the best part is actually the location. We're standing right now under this whomping willow, and we have an amazing view.
We're staying in Overland.
We stayed a further 2 nights and watched the FIFA World Cup final at the local pub, Walkabouts Inn. The town is small, and one can walk around within 2 hours. There are a few places to eat out and no petrol stations. The main street was flanked by delicious crab apple trees in full fruiting glory. Rhodes is often used as a stop to attempt the Ben 10 Eco Challenge, the 10 highest passes in the Eastern Cape Highlands. It was started as a means to increase tourism in the area and for the adventurous off-road enthusiast. Leaving Rhodes, we decided to take the scenic route out, Landen's Neck Pass. This pass skirts the border of Lesotho and passes through some scenic farmland. Like Nordea's Neck, the pass was heavily eroded, and some muddy sections were a bit hair-raising. The pass is steep and has some incredible bends, corners, and curves, some unbridged stream crossings, and very steep, unguarded drop-offs. Our final stop was in Ladybrand. This was a halfway stopover between Rhodes and our home destination, but we found a quaint place called a Wimawe Resort. The resort is affordable for a roof and a bed in these cute Cape Dutch houses, and it offered one of the best sunsets of our trip. In the next episode, we take you all the way up to the great grey-green greasy Limpopo River as we explore the northernmost section of the Kruger National Park.